Hi Aries, and welcome to your May 2020 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to talk to you about the energies coming in for your sign. Welcome back, Aries. I hope you are feeling wonderful. I'm excited to set some sacred space for you and see what's coming up. If you hear any rumbling thunder in the background, that is because there is a storm going on. Hopefully it will be nice and ambient for you and not too disruptive. I am continuing filming despite the storms coming in. So storms coming in, Aries, is that kind of how you're feeling? Maybe last month, you might kind of see that the storm passes this month and that the things that you went through last month were not in vain, but they kind of lose a little bit of control over you now in May, because as you go into May, you kind of go into a 12th house experience. If you're especially if you're an Aries rising, you might feel like a lot more flexibility and a lot more even like lack of clarity that ends up empowering you to understand a new direction in your life. So coming into a new direction is a big possibility for you, Aries. And also kind of looking out on the horizon and seeing what the world's offering you. It's not really going to jump out and wake you up. That's kind of one thing that May will show you. There are some decisions that only you can make, okay? There are some choices that only you can look up. You might kind of see yourself consulting a lot of people or asking many different people's opinions on, what should I do with this? How should I brand this? How should I move forward with this? And they're kind of like, I don't know. And you can't really find a clarity there. And there's something about the month of May for you guys that really demands you to understand your purpose and what you're doing and why you're doing it and the end game and what's giving you energy, how you can implement it, and how you can thrive, okay? And only you have those keys in your hands, all right? So May is also going to give you a gift as well. You could really get closure. You could get a big understanding of what somebody else in your life meant to you, and as well as an emotional level up too. So by the end of May, you're going to go from feeling like quite ego connected to very emotionally advanced, okay? So you're going to feel like you finally understand the context that somebody else had in your life, like you finally understand the context that you have in your life as well, and what gives you a sense of emotional healing as well. Sorry, loud thunder. So yeah, a sense of emotional healing, right? We don't really think about that for Aries so much. Everybody thinks of an Aries and they're like, wow, this person is so assured. This person is so confident, so capable, so pioneering. But what about your sense of emotional wellness? We don't give your sign enough credit for the emotional wellness that it has to have to do the things that it has to do in its life, to be that pioneer, to be that leader, okay? To have that confidence. And there comes a lot of rain. I wonder if you guys can hear it. You might not be able to hear it. This microphone's very good at focusing on the voice. And any movement that I make with my hands, it comes through. So I have to be very still when I record. Otherwise, I create a lot of noise. Okay, Aries, so finding a stronger sense of emotional healing, where is it going to start for you? First thing I want you guys to look at this month is where, as an Aries, do I feel like I negated myself, or I didn't give myself what I wanted, or I held back in order to move forward. Something is a little bit tired. You have Four of Swords reversed in your reading, and that's one of the things that really draws my attention the most. I think that you haven't let your mind rest on certain things, and I think that you also haven't let your body rest. So there could be a few deficiencies in your body. Are you eating enough? Are you giving yourself enough fuel? Are you actually resting enough? And I don't even necessarily mean laying down enough or, just resting enough, but is your rest restful? What can you do to make your rest more restful? You can emotionally sign off on things, okay? So you think about some kind of emotional context and you let it go and you rest, rest and digest. There's a lot of resting and digesting that needs to happen this month for Aries. Because there's a bit of a blockage, okay, with your energy. And we saw that very clearly collectively with what happened in April. April, Aries season is all about getting out, being public, being out of the house, and we had to stay in. So there's a blockage in the Aries energy line. So every Aries sun is going to feel that too. And I think that it has to do with your sense of self and your sense of emotional well-being. So that has to be fixed in May, and that has to be at least worked on. It's easier said than done to just like fix those things. We'd all just fix it if it were that easy. But for you, it's going to deal specifically with expectations. So emotional debt too. You've got 6 of Pentacles reversed in your reading. So there's an emotional debt or an emotional liability that you might need to forgive yourself for or forgive someone else for, and really kind of go into like no regrets mode. Your sign is like the no regrets sign, like YOLO. Remember when people used to say YOLO? Like, I don't think people say that anymore. I should probably edit that out. I'm just kidding. But that's kind of like your energy line, is like you only live once and there's no regrets. But I'm seeing a lot of like heaviness here, and a lot of like thought of like, well, did I do this to that person? What did they do? What context did it have? What do I owe them? What do they owe me? There's a lot of that thought, and you are overcoming that this month. So without further ado, Aries, let's go ahead and get into your week to week. Week number 1, you have the Magician rooted down by 6 of Pentacles reversed. So overcoming that sense of emotional liability. And how do you overcome that? It's not about just forgetting it. It's not about just putting it down, but it's about giving back to yourself and thinking, okay, where have I been shorted? Where have I had a sense of like, pain maybe inflicted by somebody else? And am I letting myself heal from that? Am I like, even if I feel like I can't forgive people from my past, am I still letting them affect me by being really hurt by what they did? It's not to say that you should just forgive and forget, because that depends on the context of what happened. So some of you might totally need to forgive and forget, but then there are other things that we can't do that easily with. Basically, you need to either forgive and forget, or use what you have at your disposal to elevate out of it. So writing the book, doing the creative project, allowing your sense of inner ascension to elevate you out of these old turmoils of the past, because what I feel is that you might feel quite imposed on, or you might feel like you can't really escape from some of these past connotations, and they're not really relevant anymore either. They're not really there. So there's a need for Aries to, do or don't, go or stay, not just continue in this sort of middle ground gray zone experience. All right. And you have everything at your disposal to do that. You have, with the Magician coming up, it's a strong validation that you have what you need to ascend past these very dense feelings of, they owe me this, I owe them that, I regret this, they will regret that. Things like that, just thinking, okay, now I can create. Now I can ascend up out of some of these old difficulties. And then you're moving into the second week of May with the Moon rooted down by Justice reversed. So these cards have been coming up a lot this month, and that says to me that a lot of May is about getting real and, cracking past some of these old feelings of unsureness. The Moon kind of deals with the things that we're not quite sure about in our life, and the face that we then give those things out of the unsureness. So I think that it's good to kind of accept what we're not sure about and move forward into more sure, more certain territory for Aries. Also in the second week, you might find that you're more drawn to like nighttime, more nocturnal experiences. You might find some good ideas or find some more certainty during the nighttime. And and you'll see that your sense of balance as well is kind of being reset at nighttime too. So maybe going by the moon phase, or deciding your series of endings and beginnings along with the phase of the moon could be so healthy for Aries, because maybe some of you guys who are watching this are used to doing that, but it's not really the Aries way. A lot of the time you're a very diurnal sign, so very much more connected to the sun and Mars and daytime, but it's interesting to see a bit of a more nighttime experience coming in for Aries. And why is that happening? Again, that's because you've gone into your sun's 12th house. So Taurus season is going to be a 12th house, very dark experience typically for Aries. And it's really fascinating to see that you guys are getting a lot of your motivation here and understanding a lot of your own possessions and what is at your command during this time. But again, with the second week of May, you might really be looking for an answer, or you might really be looking for a distinction, or a consolidation point of difficult things that have happened. Like you guys are trying to come to a consensus or come to a conclusion about what has happened. And that might not really happen until we're thoroughly into Gemini season. And oftentimes with the moon and with justice reversed, it's like the more and more that we search, the more difficult it is to find. So it's going to find you. Try to, find something more enjoyable with your time than like searching and searching for an answer. Okay. Anyway, Aries, week number 3, you have the 4 of Swords reversed, rooted down by 6 of Cups. So, you are going to feel really rejuvenated and really reinvigorated by an act of kindness. So I think that somebody might give you an act of kindness during the 3rd week of May. You may receive something from somebody, or you may just have like a small thing. It's like these small details or these small experiences that really boost you and really help you out a lot. So where you've been thirsty or where you've been hungry, like the things you've needed, I think those things will be given to you in the 3rd week. So you might kind of be expecting it in the 1st week, but the choices that you make throughout the 1st and 2nd week of May are going to bring you into the 3rd week being replenished where you have been lacking. So I love that for you, Aries. Your areas that have lacked will be replenished in the 3rd week of May. And I also think that you will then replenish someone else too. It's going to go in like a very cyclic manner. Like maybe you give somebody what they need, and then the next day you receive randomly from the universe or from somebody else exactly what you needed. There's a very giving and receiving directly related to each other that happens to you in the 3rd week. Also, you want to watch out for pushing yourself too hard there too. The entirety of May is going to be a bit of a resting phase for you. Even though you might have been inside a lot in April, it feels like you really had to expend a lot of energy, and May needs to be a bit less energy expended, or the energy that you expend needs to revitalize you in some way. All right. Week number 4, Aries, you have the 3 of Wands reversed, rooted down by King of Cups. So an emotional evolution is coming really strongly after you stop looking at the people who have turned their backs on you. Okay. And it does feel like that's really prevalent for Aries. Like maybe you've been trying so hard to understand these people who are no longer around, or trying to fix these energies that are really still connected to other people. And the 4th week of May, we'll see you evolve out of that. Okay. 3 of Wands reversed, I've talked about it a few times. I don't so much consider it from the view of the person. I consider it more so to be the view of the camera or the painter, where we're looking at somebody with their back turned, especially when it's reversed. So some of you are maybe just struggling to let go or to see something in your own lens. And that really is one of the main life missions for you this month, is to see through your own lens. Okay, to look at your own horizons and to not let that be eclipsed by somebody else. And that's probably the most important thing in the reading so far. Try to not let other people eclipse your own sense of horizon, your own sense of future prosperity. And that takes an emotional evolution. King of Cups rooting that down. We've got to know when to detach emotionally. What I love about King of Cups is it's not emotionally guarded, and it's not emotionally barren, but it's over emotive either. Like it knows very clearly what to invest in emotionally and what to detach from. It's got a very good sort of sonar when it comes to what to spend emotional energy on. So that 4th week of May for you, Aries, is going to be the process of developing that and understanding that there are probably a few things that you might have really invested in emotionally that need detached from, and then maybe some things that haven't really gotten what they needed being invested in emotionally. So that's going to maybe actually be a fun process for you. And I love that you have the Magician and 6 of Cups in the reading, because that says to me that you have the physical means at your disposal to make the changes that you need to make. Then 6 of Cups does say that there's like kindness and giving energy around you. Like you're going to get what you need, you're going to be replenished, and then that comes with an emotional evolution towards the end of the month, which really recalibrates what you're putting out in your life. So anyway, Aries, thank you so much for being here. I hope that this reading has resonated for you. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, rising sign, and I will be putting together an extended reading over on Patreon. So you can click the center of your screen to jump over to Patreon and get the extended reading. We'll look at a central theme as well as 2 supporting themes and delve more into this there and see what your month is wrapping around. So I'll talk to you later, Aries. Much love. Bye.